Yeah, thank you. Like I was introduced, my name is Matt Symbal. I'm a fish biologist at the Marquette Biological Station. And today I'm going to provide a brief update on sea lamprey control in Lake Superior from 2018. So in this presentation, I'll cover the fish community objectives and targets and where we are in relationship to those targets today. I'll highlight the 2018 program accomplishments and as well as tell you a little bit about our plans in 2019. So the fish community objective in relation to sea lampreys is to suppress sea lampreys to populations levels that cause insignificant mortality on lake trout. And we define insignificant mortality as less than 5% annual lake trout mortality in Lake Superior. Moving on to the targets, our wounding targets for sea lamprey on lake trout are the fresh wounding rates are of 5 marks per 100 fish for fish greater than 533 millimeters in length. These were based off of a time period when the wounding rates were lowest in Lake Superior, which was 1994 to 1998. So looking at some of the results here for the time series, I have years on the x-axis, number of marks per 100 fish on the y-axis. The dark line here is the target level of 5 marks per 100 fish. As you can see, from 2010 up to 2010 we had kind of an increase in wounding, but it has since dropped down to 2015 where we were actually below targets, and more recently now 2017 and 18 we're at about 6 wounds per 100 fish. Moving on to looking at the adult index, our target index of adult sea lampreys is 12,000. That's based off of indices where the adult sea lamprey population and wounding was at a lower level, at the lowest levels, which was that same time period as 1994 to 1998. Here we see a little bit different graph compared to the wounding. Again, spawning years on the x-axis, y-axis is adult index in thousands. You can see here we've gone up over the last couple of years since 2010. And in 2017 and 18, those were our highest levels of adult abundance in Lake Superior. In talking with my colleagues at the Fish and Wildlife Station, these two data points are somewhat skewed because of the contribution of the Brule River. The population estimates for that stream alone accounted for 40% of the overall lake population. So we're thinking that Brule River catches skewed the population and increased our abundance in the sea. So since the spawning catches were recorded in 2018, we have treated the Brule River, and in 2019 we're going to be focusing more treatment effort on Lake Superior as well. So hopefully we'll see these levels come down in the future. So moving into what we've accomplished in 2018, the Lamprey control program treated 40 tributaries in 13 lentic areas. You can see we've got pretty good coverage all around Lake Superior in 2018. Looking at the number of treatments from 2000 to 2018 on the x-axis here, number of treatments on the y-axis, we had pretty stable treatments through I'll give you a clue on the colors here. Our orange bars are our lotic treatments, and the green bars are our lentic areas. Pretty stable number of treatments over the years up until about 2015, where we start ramping up treatment effort. And out of the last 4 years, 3 of those have pretty high treatment effort going into Lake Superior. I just want to point out this 2016 treatment effort is the highest we've had in the series, and it's a result of targeted treatment effort being pointed at Lake Superior above and beyond what our base effort was for the Great Lakes. Some other observations for the Lamprey control program in 2018. We treated 3 new systems. This Trask Creek was a tributary that was positive of the Brule River that we had just recently found. Then 7 Mile Creek, Wild Goose Creek were also treated. As far as irregular producers, we actually had 6 streams that ranked for treatment for the first time in 50 years, so we treated those. However, we did have one deferral. This year, it was the Michipicoten River was deferred until 2019 to minimize non-target species, in particular salmon. Looking at our other alternative control measure, which is barriers. Our barrier program operates and maintains barriers to block sea lamprey migration. And we also construct new barriers on occasion if it provides a cost-effective alternative to lampricide control, and where these barriers might be compatible with the system's watershed plan. We have a total of 18 sea lamprey barriers in Lake Superior. Here are their locations on this map. 11 of these barriers were specifically built to block sea lampreys. 7 were existing structures that were modified at a later point to block sea lamprey migrations. So some of the activities our barrier program had completed this year is we conducted consultations on 12 barrier removals, inspected 17 structures, assessed 47 structures throughout the Lake Superior, and put those structures into our barrier inventory and project selection system, so we have an up-to-date database on that. We are continuing to try to identify a spot on the Bad River to install a barrier. Bad River is one of our biggest producers in Lake Superior, as well as putting in a structure on the Ontonagon River. In the East Branch of the Ontonagon River, there was a barrier that was removed, and we're looking at relocating one further downstream that will work at blocking sea lampreys in that system. And we have been working with the Black Sturgeon River, which is the decommissioning of Camp 43 Dam. That decommissioning is currently delayed, but fish community assessments are currently ongoing for that system, so we're collecting more and more data before that is decommissioned. Looking at our larval assessment program, which is to determine the presence of sea lamprey larvae in tributaries, as well as the extent of the infestation and relative abundance. We estimated larval abundance in Lake Superior tributary on 54 Lake Superior tributaries and 34 lentic areas. Our detection surveys to determine new producers were conducted on 31 tributaries. We did find one new producer in Lake Superior, which is Hungarian Creek in Houghton County, Michigan. It's just a short little stream that is ended by a waterfall, so we'll be treating that one in 2019. We've conducted 20 post-treatment evaluation surveys on 24 tributaries and 3 lentic areas to determine the success of our treatments, and conducted barrier effectiveness surveys on 27 tributaries. Our adult assessment unit its purpose is to estimate the lake-wide abundance of adult sea lampreys in Lake Superior. We've trapped 11 tributaries in 2018, captured 6,067 sea lampreys, and estimated the overall index of 58,478 sea lampreys, which is well above our target level of 12,000 at this point in time. Here are our trapping locations to Lake Superior. Additional things that the adult assessment program had completed this year is they modified and enhanced the sea lamprey trapping of the Brule River Fishway and improved fish passage, as well as installed a trap in the bottom of the fishway well below the barrier. Additionally, they evaluated the accuracy and precision of the market capture and abundance estimates for the Brule River and the Middle River. Looking forward to our plans in 2019, we plan to treat, this graph again is similar to the other effort graph. The gold bars are our loadic treatments, and the green bars are our lentic. And for 2019, we plan to treat 51 tributaries and 18 lentic areas in Lake Superior. As I had mentioned before, we have specific effort that's going to be targeted to Lake Superior streams in 2019, which will, if all are completed, will be the highest level of treatments in Lake Superior. Our sea lamprey assessment program, as far as larval surveys go, we plan to survey 127 tributaries and 30 lentic areas, and our populations will be indexed in 14 of these tributaries. And we plan on assessing adult lampreys in 10 tributaries. We have a whole list of of research similar to what Scott had covered earlier this morning. We're looking into new trap designs, the use of pheromones, increasing our ability to trap juveniles, and always considering, fish passage when we're working with our traps and our barriers. Our risk management program is on course to complete fish community assessments in 7 tributaries, one of which is the Black Sturgeon River, and then also to continue to investigate non-target effects on sea lamprey, investigate non-target effects on our sea lamprey, on not natives for our programs. Sorry, getting tongue-tied towards the end here. Finally, we are all working on the 3rd Sea Lamprey International Symposium, which we're compiling all the new information that we have regarding sea lamprey, and I look forward to sharing with you all towards the end of July. So I know I breezed through that really quick. I apologize if it's too fast, but if you have any questions, I'll take them.